Hello everyone and welcome back to another Ion Formula 1 race. Very excited to be back at Greece, the scene of the epic battle between Patrick and Professor Bloxer last season. Of course, the man who signed Patrick to Brandstar is with me, Shay, the Brandstar team owner. Hello, and anything exciting you're expecting today?
Well, let's look at the grid real quick. I'm not seeing many changes. However, you can see a few. For example, we can see that Toyota at the moment has no drivers out on the field. If you don't know, Eastsliders actually took his team stuff away from it, and thus it's only going to be Luca. And since East was one of the main drivers and Toyota, that means that they have lost a considerable amount of drivers. East actually is going to now be the manager of Red Star and will be driving for that team. As for Aviation Chad, if you don't remember last race, I believe he was in McLaren. He has moved over to Craig at the moment. You could see him in P11 at the moment. Oh, actually, no, you can't see the screen at the moment. Sorry. Anyways, other than that, there shouldn't be many changes on the board, except there is a new main driver for Brandstar. His name's going to be Alexino. He's also been running in the IEC races. I believe that should be it for now.
Very exciting stuff indeed.
Other than that, not sure who's going to be the victor for the day. Not sure any contenders. As we remember, Patrick was the first one to win in Greece, and behind him was going to be Professor Bloxer. So hopefully Professor Bloxer actually may be able to get a win today, depending on what happens with Kakera and the KRR team.
It's going to be a strong outing for McLaren today, especially with critical noobs. So let's have a look at the estimated qualifying order that we're predicting, with McLaren being the fastest team, Lance Droid in the other McLaren not looking too strong, KRR second, surprisingly, with Audi third and Aston Martin the fourth fastest team. Toyota, they had data from free practice, but as Shay just said, they're not running. Brandstar the seventh fastest, and BMW the eighth fastest, with Craig ninth and Red Star 10th. In 11th and 12th, E-Spirit being the 11th fastest, Fleet being the 12th fastest, and we didn't get any data from Airrock, who I don't believe are going to be participating in today's race. So let's actually have a look at the on-track action now. This is Real Miggy Coolit in the uprise, with 9.5 minutes left of qualifying. They just went off there and reset. Not really surprised with that. Critical Noob currently holds the fastest time for McLaren. It's a 1:14.329. Just set a 3 purple sector lap, but now isn't improving on their next run. Not sure whether this is a slow lap to prepare. Could be. I'm not sure whether they're just going to be trying to set hot lap after hot lap. We'll just have to wait and see. Real Miggy is improving with 3 green sectors. So is Alex in the Brandstar, and Space Ghost with Red Star. Everyone improving. 17 to P17 to P19. Not much improvement in the top 10.
Interesting that Indominus is in second, and if you don't remember, in the last practice, he was actually the first best time. If you remember how he was in Dubai, he actually wasn't doing so well, but it seems as though he's been able to make a big improvement since the last season's last race.
We also have F1 fan in the Kraken third.
Yeah, he seems to have been making some improvements himself.
Oh, East Sliders replaces F1 fan now in P3 with 3 green sectors, so not overall session best, but it is the best for East, who of course scored the podium last time out with McLaren, and a purple sector 2 for Matt in the Brandstar, managed to put that car P10 on the grid.
Had a bit of a scuffle at the last corner, which caused him to not be able to get a better time.
Oh, and Fernand was spinning round at the back of your picture there. Not sure how well you could see that.
Professor Bloxer just fell off the map.
I'll try to get a replay of Fernand if I can. So who's this? This would have been.
Hopefully they're able to respawn their car. That car actually went off the track. All right. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, how far this replay goes. Oh, here we go. Just look at the back there. Round goes the Aston Martin. There you see Fernand spinning round. Here's KR Racing. This is Kai Kera, the owner. And first driver for the team, just hitting a bump there at the final chicane slightly. Number 86 car, currently 10th fastest. .420 Merc Music has managed to put their Audi up into second place with 2 green sectors and a yellow one. Not that may have been the in-lap, actually, the sectors. But that Audi car is now second on the grid, replacing Indominus Rex with a 114.396.
Is that your cat?
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, also another thing to notice, Airrock's not here.
Yeah, Airrock. I don't know what's happened with Airrock, but we know what's happened with Toyota. E-Sliders has essentially pulled everything from the team, and Airrock just aren't here.
I'm wondering if the drivers just decided they didn't want to compete anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, if you don't remember, Skydole said that his only race he was really vying for, the one he wanted to get good positions in, was South Korea. And since that race really did not go well for him, I'm wondering if the spirits have kind of drained from that.
It would be strange to enter a league just to try and win one race. The only exception to that, I'd say, in real life would be like the 24 Hours of Le Mans, but that's a big historical event. It isn't the South Korea Grand Prix in Iron F1, but, you know, they can do what they want.
Right.
It's just a shame not to see the 13th team on the grid.
Interestingly enough, Kayakura and Power right now in 10th and 13th. Not doing very big qualifying.
They were
What's up with
higher
that?
up earlier. I think they were like 7th and 8th or 6th and 7th or something like that. But the overall like hot lap pace so far over the free practice sessions, I think it's been a lot higher than it was in Australia and South Korea. But something that Kaikara was telling me yesterday, if they improve their qualifying pace, he's worried about what will happen to their race pace, because at the moment the race pace, especially for Kaikara, has been absolutely outstanding. Won both races so far this season by a considerable margin, like several seconds in both races, which is just mind-boggling considering where that car has been starting on the grid. So yeah, what's going to happen to KR Racing if they score higher up in qualifying? Will they fall down in the race? I don't know.
Just watching Real Mega Cool It for a second. In 10th position at the moment. Looking like he was trying to get a good place, and then he crashed on the final corner.
F1 fans gone
And
fifth.
we now have about 3 minutes 50 seconds left. If people are starting to do their outlaps, they should probably be doing them right about now.
Doesn't say anyone's in the pit lane, so I'm pretty sure everyone is out on track to some degree. Back of the grid is currently Johnson 420 in the uprise. Three minutes to go. Enough time for, well, if you cross the line around now, you have enough time for 2 more laps.
Oh, look at
Out
that.
the pit lane comes
Dancer
Fernand.
Hatchick.
Yeah, it's a 2-3 for Audi.
2-3. Then you also have Professor Blocks and Fernand in 6 and 8. Landstroid down in the 9th now.
Critical Noob's leads that they had in the free practice sessions in terms of time margin seems to have come down by quite a significant margin. It was a few tenths in FP2. Now it's come down to a few hundredths of a second. It's if you ignore the number on the end, it's currently 7/100ths of a second between 420 Merc Music and Critical, and 420 isn't improving, Danza Hajek isn't improving. The highest up person improving on their current lap time would be East Sliders in the Red Star, who sits P7 with 1:15.015. So I think that unless East can make a dent into the top 6, that's pretty sorted, unless anyone in the top 6 goes around again for another hot lap, which they have enough time to do.
While we were talking, Matt was able to cinch 11th with the green sector in the last one, able to get ahead of Kakera and Power Unit. Actually, I think he only got ahead of Kakera. However, that now means that Kakera is going to be down in 12th and Power in 15th.
East Sliders goes up to 5th, with Lance Droids taking 8th place in the McLaren. That's their new team. Power Unit, yeah, not improving at the moment. Not improving in the first sector. Slowing down, interestingly, though. I'm wondering whether they are trying to preserve their soft compound tyres through the end of the lap to go for a last lap thrash around the circuit, because they have, well, nearly exactly 1 minute to get from, what's this? This is turn 13 all the way to the start-finish line, which is about a third of the circuit length.
50 seconds left in qualifying. Outlaps cannot be started anymore, which means this should be either the beginning of an outlap or somebody's final lap. As we see Danza Hadjik, Adominus, and Real Miggy Foulet finishing first sectors. All three of them getting green, actually.
Yeah, let's go on board here with Power Unit to see what they can do in the KR racing. Going into turn 1, gets the rotation done very well, goes very close to the bump on the left side, just barely missing it, which is exactly what you want to do. Doing the same on the right, but running out wide slightly through turn 2. Now looping back up through turn 3, over the crest of the hill. Now approaching turn 5, which is a 180-degree long left-hand bend. Round here, just clipping the apex there, running next to the DRS sign. The rear wing opening up very wide there. Now coming down to turn 6. It's the, well, pretty much triple apex here of turn 6, 7 and 8. 1, 2 and around for a third time as qualifying is officially finished. F1 Fan is the first person to cross the checkered flag. Now looping right round turn 9. That's quite tight. Runs out wide onto the curb there into the gravel. That's not going to help. Now it's full throttle through the Etis, through turn 10, through turn 11, and crashes into a BMW and an Aston Martin. That's going to be the BMW of Static. No, not Static. That was Fenenjaster. Fenenjaster's car wasn't recovered. So Power Unit's lap is going to be scuppered.
Matt's about to finish a lap too.
It goes into the upright, goes into East Sliders. All the final laps are being scuppered by the BMW. Power Unit needs to get out of the car. So does East Sliders. So does Professor Bloxer, because Power Unit crashed into the BMW that was stranded. Well, that was a very hectic end to qualifying. Nobody managing to score a final lap time there because of the crashed BMW that was out on track.
Was that Fenenjaster? I believe it was.
I think it was Fenenjaster's car. They left the car, but they hadn't respawned it in the garage, so it was still out on track. And of course, when you crash, collisions turn on, and Power Unit ploughed straight into it. Also collected an Aston Martin. Kaikera managed to avoid it, but it also collected the Red Star of East Sliders, so Power Unit obviously able to aid their teammate in order to not crash into the car over the team radio.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. They have collisions on in qualifying. However, it is to be said that that car was there for a fairly long time, and it caused a huge pileup. Usually, they only start being collidable after about 10 seconds because that's enough time for you to get out and respawn the car. However,
It obviously didn't respawn the car. There's going to be 420 Merc Music taking pole position with Audi then, which is a very, very good performance from them, considering that Critical Noob has led every session so far this weekend with... Well, has he led every session? He's definitely been fast in every session.
Not to mention that Dan Sahajic was able to keep this third position in qualifying. So let's go over that order right now, actually. 420 Merc Music and Audi is going to take your pole position. Critical New in second with McLaren. Dan Sahajic will take third, rounding off the podium spots for the grid. He will be in Audi. Indominus Rex with E-Spirit is going to take fourth. East Sliders with Red Star will take fifth. F1 Fan with Crake will take sixth. And they've just shut down the game for a restart. So I'm not sure what that is going to be. Let me check the results tab. There we are. Where were we? Professor Bloxer and Aston Martin in seventh. Then we have Landstroid with McLaren in eighth. Fernand in ninth with Aston Martin. Real Mickey Coolit with Uprise in 10th. Nat and Brandstar in 11th. Kaikera in 12th with KRR. Jogsy in 13th with E-Spirit. Aviation Chad in 14th with Quake Power Unit. And 15th with KRR. I'm not sure who the Douglas person is, but they're going to be in 16th with Fleet. Ben and Jaster in 17th with BMW. Static in 18th with BMW. John in 19th with Uprise. Space in 20th with Red Star. And Alexino in last position in Brandstar.
It's a very diverse grid. Some people out of position where you wouldn't expect them to be, either in a good or bad way. It's a good way for 420 Merc Music. I would have expected Professor Bloxer and Fernand to be slightly higher up.
To be fair, a lot of these people could have got a little higher up. I mean, you saw Power Unit, Matt, East, all of them were doing hot lap. And were ruined by the BMW being on the middle of the track. So that could have been something that caused it.
Yeah, it's very, very infuriating for these drivers having crashed because of something that wasn't their own fault. It was just a rogue car out on track because of a crash that hadn't been recovered.
So next should be start and grid. Not sure why they need to rejoin. Maybe Fasto's put something in.
Possibly. I have no idea. Just going to try rejoin the game then.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Festa just added a pit cam.
So I guess that was the reason for the restart then.
I would suppose so. However, to be fair, with some of these drivers being a little further back on the grid, it's not going to make too much of a difference in the end. Maybe a few car lengths because of how the grid positions are. However, we'll have to see what happens.
Or at least we'll be able to see them as they come into the pits and change their tyres. Get a little bit of a better look at the cars. Doing their pit stops.
Qualifying isn't completely critical on the position you are on the grid, as we know by the KRRs being pretty far back in the qualifying grid, and yet doing really well in the race itself.
Yeah. So as we get ready for the Greek Grand Prix, let's have a look at the track and the intro, and we'll be back in a second, everybody. Welcome back, Thessaloniki, and welcome back, viewers. This is the location which held the most hectic, most chaotic, and most thrilling race of last season. It is, of course, the third round of the fourth season of Iron Formula 1 here, live from Greece. The closest ever finish to an Ion F1 win came here last season, with Professor Bloxer losing, Patrick Huro winning, but by just 0.137 seconds. Also in that instance, the first win for Brandstar and Patrick Huro in F1. Also interestingly, on the geography of the area, this track is located very close to mountain ranges, very close to hills, and very close to fault lines, which could be the reason why this track has such undulating characteristics. So let's have a look at these so-called undulating characteristics. 18 corners, ladies and gentlemen, 11 of those going to the left and the remaining 7 going towards the right. Notably, the final chicane is taken at a ridiculously fast speed. One tyre on a bump and smash! You're in the wall and your day is ruined. Over 41 studs of elevation, it's a lot more noticeable on our new track models, diving down into turn 3, diving and climbing through the S's of turns 10, 11, 12 and 13. The DRS zones are absolutely massive, the first down the back of the circuit and the second taking you towards the front. This circuit is definitely one of my favourites, and it's also a fan favourite. Just to note, the highlights reel from last season's race is now at a staggering 25,000 views. So let's have a look at the starting grids. They're lining up on pole position. It's 420 Merc Music and the Audi, with Critical Noob beside them in second. Coming in at third place, it's Danza Hajek, 420 Merc Music's teammate with Indominus Rex, the highest starter for eSpirit. P5 is going to be not a Toyota reserve driver. Don't know who that is. P6 is F1 Fan, P7 is Professor Bloxer, and P8 is going to be Lance Droid, P9 is Fernand, P10 is Real Mickey Coolit in the Uprise car, P11 is going to Matt in the Brandstar, and P12, the highest KR car, Kai Kara. P13 is going to go to Jogsy and the E-Spirit, with P14 going to one of the Craigs. P15, that's going to be the other KR racing car of Power Unit, with P16 being one of the fleets. P17, going to be Fenenjaster, the person who pretty much ruined qualifying for the top 6. P18 is going to be another BMW. P19, Johnson 420 in the Uprise. P20, one of Red Star's new drivers, Space Ghost. P21 is Brandstar's new driver, and nobody qualified in P22, P23, P24, P25 or P26. It's a very empty grid at the back. Joining you in the commentary box today for what I'm hoping to be a very exciting race, it is, of course, as always, the Brandstar team owner, Shea. Hello.
Good evening. How are y'all doing today?
I'm very excited as the drivers now getting in, jumping out and jumping into their cars as we get ready to go on the way. Shea, what are you expecting from today's race?
What am I expecting? Well, I'm expecting the KRR win, no doubt. However, there is to be seen that this could be Brandstar's resurgence when we see him win the Saloniki again. I don't know if it will be, but I'm just hoping that Matt doesn't have another crash today. I'm hoping he can hold on to that car. However, this could also be Red Star's revival, seeing E-Sliders go from Toyota over to manage not only Red Star but also race for them as well. But as we've seen, this could also be Audi's time, where you've seen Merc Music in that pole position and then Sahajic getting third. So it's really just to be seen what's going to happen today, because this race, if anything, is just crazy. This was also the first race where collisions were enabled, and this also turned out to be one of the most hectic when it came to those collisions. So we'll have to see what happens for this season, seeing as those have now been fine-tuned.
As the lights now come on.
I might add that since you said it was not a Toyota Zint driver on 5th, that was going to be E-Sliders now in the Red Star in 5th at the moment.
And we're off and away in Greece.
Right now.
Here comes Kaikara down into turn 1. The leader of 420 Merc Music still seems to be in the lead for Audi. An absolutely amazing qualifying performance from them. A gap now coming out to their teammate, Dancer Hajek, in the back there. Just it seems like 2 car lengths there. It's hard to see because of the vision lag. Now coming down up the hill towards turn 5. The 180-degree left-hander, quite wide. A bit of a medium-speed corner. The E-Spirit of Indominus Rex wants to be getting some of the action there. And it looks like they have got some of the action, moving up into second. But it's Dancer Hajek. They're going to allow that as we now go through the triple apex left-hander. Now 420 Merc Music goes wide. That's not going to give them any time whatsoever. There's an Aston Martin going wide there as well. Now coming through the right-hander, which leads on to the S's. This is a very fast, full throttle section of the track. It seems like an Audi 1-2. There's a McLaren going wide. There's a Crate going wide. There's an Uprise going wide. Everyone's going wide through turn 9. But as we dive down into the S's, it's looking for 420 Merc Music to be holding the lead. But their teammate, Dancer Hajek, isn't going to want that for a very, very long time. Down the front straight, we go now. The 72 car of Dancer Hajek trying to catch up to 420 Merc Music. Here's the chicane. Is anyone going to lose any time? It doesn't look so. The top 3 at the moment, 420 Merc Music, Dancer Hajek, and the Aston Martin of Professor Bloxer.
Oh no, there's a BMW going straight across the bumps of that chicane. But as we can see the Audi in 1 and 2 right now.
Oh, and Kaikara's spun around. Kaikara's lost it at turn 1.
What?
Kaikara is falling down the order.
Oh, it's going to go into the sand trap too. That's going to be a brand star. That looks to be Alex, the reserve driver. If we look up and ahead, we're going to see both Audis in the lead right now. Behind them is going to be the McLarens and the Aston Martins. I'm seeing Kira. No, that is E-Spirit. That's going to be Indominus Rex. And E-Sliders is going to be right behind them. And then you're going to have BMW. I'm not sure who that's going to be. It might be Fan Ingester. It might be the other guy. However, I'm also seeing a Crate behind them, Indominus. And then you got the KR, which I can only assume is going to be Power Unit if Kira had a slip.
Dancer Hajek holds the fastest lap as we are on now. Lap 2 of the Greek Grand Prix. Currently 0.966 seconds behind their teammate in first. Audi at the moment absolutely dominating this race with McLaren P4 and P5. Not anymore as Fernand now makes it into the top 5.
From an Uprise driver. Who is that? Is that going to be Real Miggy Coolit? That was Real Miggy Coolit. He's going to fall behind a little bit as we now see them going across the chicane. Who's going to be able to keep it? Who's going to have a slip up? Everybody took it really well that first lap, but now that these tires are starting to get a little warm, we're going to start seeing some slip-ups, probably.
Look at the back there. There's a Brand Star spinning round. Is it Matt? No, it's not. It's Alex.
He's going to be fine, though. He's going to be fine. That's Alex.
Kaikara now down to P17.
Still trying to figure out this race.
Had one of his most confident qualifying sessions of the season. Kaikara not doing very well in this race whatsoever. Span at turn 1 last lap and now 9.2 seconds behind the lead where he'll want to be by the end of the race. Of course, the first 2 races every season have been won by the exact same person. So are the fortunes going to change for Kaikara now like his ex-teammate Dakar did last season? I'm so excited to see what happens today.
Fleet's reserve driver, who actually was I believe it started from the pit lane, has gone into the pits again because it seems as though he has lost a front wing. Oh, I'm getting a bit of lag. How about you?
I'm not getting
there we go.
lag.
We're good.
But what it has seemed to be, the tower isn't having much fun. It says that the top 8 is shared by P1.
There might have been a... Okay, well, they're about to cross the line now, so we'll be able to see that.
Oh, Indominus Rex going upside down, flipping at the chicane!
His wheels are intact. He's fine. But
He's
he
still
is
fine
not.
to go. Jogsy!
Wait, no,
His
Jogsy!
teammate Jogsy's
Jogsy's
lost a
out.
wheel! That's the first proper DNF
Luckily-
of the race, ladies and gents.
Luckily, he is on the inside of that corner, which means that unless somebody has a slip up, they won't be able to hit him. However, that car will need to get off the track. That might just be a yellow flag now. And he is off, which means we are back to green.
That yellow flag graphic really staying on screen for a very long time there. A total 2 seconds. East
Fine,
now
at least
has the fastest
we
lap.
know what happened.
East has the fastest lap, 3.1 seconds behind the leader in the red star. If Hilltaker wasn't leading the race at some point in Korea 2 weeks ago, I think this would have been Red Star's best performance so far this season. But of course, Hilltaker did end up falling down the order. So let's see what East can do in that red car.
Oh, I can see Fleet's front wing on the
Right at
DRS zone.
right at the exact moment. That's the moment where the E-Spirit flipped upside down there, everybody, in slow motion. You can see right at the back there the DNF from the other E-Spirit. You can see the wing sliding. That would have been Jogsy at the back there.
Check this quarter real quick. They're starting to go down the chicane again. Oh, Matt almost lost it. But it seems he was the only one to have a problem with that one. Everybody seems to be doing swimmingly right at the moment.
Hikaru now up to
I say that, and
P14
a
past
Fleet
his
goes
teammate.
straight through the cut.
F1
Right
fans,
now, the Audis and the Aston Martins are doing
DNF
exceptionally
somehow.
well. And Aston
F1 fan
Fleet
is
who?
reset. I don't know.
F1 fan is reset. Maybe
Or
he had a
something.
problem. I didn't
Something
see any
happened to
crash.
F1 fan.
I didn't see any of the Crakes having problems, but where is his teammate at the moment? That's going to be Aviation. He's going to be right behind an Uprise in 9th position. Oh, hang on a second. Looks like one of the Audis is starting to fall back a bit, which means it's going to take some time for Professor Blockster to get ahead. I think that's Dan Sahajek. Yes, it is. So now it is Aston Martin. Sorry, Audi AM with the red star right behind him.
Very, very, very close. It's gonna be very... If it's anything like the race last season here in Greece, it's gonna be so hard to tell who's gonna win, but so far 420 Mac Music is dominating it. But just like last season, Dakar was dominating the race until look what happened. In came Professor Bloxer, in came Patrick Uro.
This track is extremely technical. It is all on how you know the track. It is, you know, it's not about how long you can last on your tires and stuff. It's about, can you take those turns properly? And if you can't, then your race is over.
It's like a bit more of an endurance race, this track, than a Formula 1 race.
This is pretty mind-numbing if you have to do this for a good 35 laps.
Professor Bloxer seems to be holding his own now. Dancer Hajek will be trying to catch up to the Aston Martin, but it's now a good 1 second gap exactly at the last timing line for the team.
And it seems as though Red Star is actually trying to fight for 4th at the moment with that Aston Martin of Fernand. Behind them, still going to be the McLarens. And everybody else is kind of just vying for the next places. They're a good few seconds away, though. Oh, hang on a second. Was that a slip-up from an Audi?
420 Mac Music and Dancer
Seems as though he
Hajek look okay.
Seems as though he was in a position where he was trying to get back into the race, but I guess that was just... Actually, I don't know how to explain that one, but seems as though he's going to be fine. He's going to keep up ahead. Hang on a second. Is this...
Oh.
Hang on a second. Something's wrong with Kakera. He's stopped at the moment. And I know he's stopped. I know I'm not lagging. I'm seeing other cars driving at the moment.
Kaikara's stopped. What's happened to Kaikara? Is Kaikara having, like, personal lag issues?
Or his controller might be broken or something like that, because I remember Alexino was saying how his controller was starting to disconnect a lot. So that might be what's going on. I don't know. Let me check the chat.
But Kaikara's car is revving. Why would it be revving if his controller's broken?
Then that might be a lag issue. That might be a lag issue. You're right.
We may just suddenly...
So either
Kaikara's disconnected.
You'll-
Kaikara's out the race.
Oh man, that's not good for KIR. Power units. Power unit, you better do something, man. You better
It's
stay
now,
in this race.
yeah, it's now power. It's power unit. It's got to do everything. If we
Power
talk
unit
about
stay. Power unit stay.
Yeah, if we talk about the end of the season, for those of you who don't know, the bottom 3 of the Constructors' Championship are going to be cut off for Season 5 of F1, leaving just 10 teams remaining, which means that 79 points is the mathematical minimum for a team to exit the bottom 3. If KRR scored 29 points, they're automatically qualified into Season 5. Well, they're not going to be able to get 29 points this race, so we'll just have to see what Power Unit can do to try and make sure that the team doesn't fall down. But I'm sure by the end of the season they won't. But some of the other teams, they might. So that's going to be something really on their minds. To get 79 points, you really have to be pushing to not fall into that bottom 3.
That is true. And with a lot of these teams, it's still a question of if they're going to be able to get enough points for that. As we've seen a lot of, I mean, KR is pretty good already because they've gotten a lot of points off of Kaikara, and we still have more than half this season to go. So I'm sure they'll be fine. However, it's yet to be seen for a few other teams. I was going to say Red Star was one to have an issue, but since East Slider is now managing that team, it might be the fact that they are able to get enough points to stay out of that last 3. If anything, the issues now are going to be on BMW and Fleet. As for the third one, I'm not sure, to be fair.
We'll just have to wait and see how it turns out.
At the moment, Brandstar doesn't really have any points.
Oh, Matt's sliding down the main straight, but he keeps it intact. He keeps it on the line. Just lost it slightly out of that last corner. If he didn't correct that as he did, that would have been a very different day for the Brandstar. So very well done to Matt for keeping that on the track.
Speak of the devil. Who's in the lead at the moment? Is it still going to be 420 Aston Martin?
It's still 420.
Audi Aston Martin?
Yeah, it's Audi Aston Martin, Audi Aston Martin. The top 4 made up of A's.
Oh my goodness. Audi is 420 Merc Music is actually a good amount of seconds behind him and the others.
And thank
East
you
Slider's
to...
still trying to fight for that 4th position.
Thank you to that new subscriber. I'm not going to try read your name. If you want to subscribe, feel free. We're now on the road to the next 1,000 subscribers, up to 4,000. So if you do want to subscribe, feel free. You can also join as a member. Cheeky plug. Just going to put that one out there.
Speaking of that, do we have any advertisements for this stream?
We don't. We haven't had advertisements for a while. Faster hasn't announced it or set up the bids or anything. And to be fair, the last time we did announce them, nobody did buy an advertisement, but we'll forget about that for now, because East Sliders has just set a purple sector 3, the fastest lap, and is up to P4, splitting the Audi Aston Martin. What's the word for a trio when there's 4?
There's 4. That's a quad.
That's a quad. The quad of cars. That's a bit of a tongue twister. I'm not going to say that again. Oh, East Sliders up to 3rd. What's happening to the Red Star? Have they just turned it up into scenario 7 now? Because East Sliders has just gained 2 positions in the last 2 sectors.
Actually, no. It seems that Aston Martin's still ahead for a little bit. However, seeing as though he might be able to hold those tires a little better, seeing as that Aston Martin just went in the grass. Actually, yes, I take that back. The Audi's actually ahead now. He's back and forth. Have we had any other issues with drivers? No, it seems static still in the race, which means we still have 18 drivers on the grid.
I want to see what East Sliders can do into the chicane. Oh, we have the first person
Aston
coming
Martin's
into the pit. Professor Bloxer.
Looks like he wants some new tires, but nobody else is going to be doing a pit at the moment.
What compound is it going to be? It's currently lap 11.
And it seems as though McLaren goes in. That might be Aviation Chad doing a pit now. That's a crash! That's a crash! That's Uprise! Miggy again!
Real Miggy's out for the second race in a row!
And he's also on that runoff, so... Oh, that's a slip-up by Power Unit. He's able to hold it. Miggy needs to get that off the... he needs to get that car off there, or else there might be another pile-up showing up soon.
Oh, Lance Droid's also just come into the pits and put on a set of hard tyres. Now, very interestingly, I did run some numbers. We're predicting people who started on the soft tyres to be boxing around lap 10 to lap 13. And at the moment, that looks right with Lance and Professor Bloxer both coming into the pits at the same time. So we'll just have to wait and see how that looks for the rest of the field. Power unit at the moment up to 12th, looking for the first points this season. And so far is on track for them if he keeps gaining positions like he has been.
But he still has to do a pit of his own, to be fair.
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out.
So, how many crashes has that been on the chicane at the moment? That's been 2, I believe, Joxy and Real Miggy.
E-Sliders is chasing 420 Merc Music for the win now. How's it going to look for the Red Star coming into turn 1? Barely a car length between them. Quite hard to see on the vision lag.
Aston Martin just went in there. I think Fernand's now pitting himself.
Yeah, that's Fernand.
I'm not sure what tires are East Slider on. I think those are the... Oh, he's on mediums. So he's going to be out there for a little longer. Interesting how he was able to keep such a pace with these Aston Martin drivers on soft tires, and yet East Slider is on medium.
Oh, here comes 420 Merc Music. Just, what was that there? Just seemed to go a little bit wide out of turn 8 there, I think, because there were a couple tyres on the grass. I don't know whether that was intentional. If that is a sign of wear, we are expecting medium runners to be coming in from now to lap 15, so we could be seeing 420 coming into the pits very, very soon.
It could be. And East Sliders might be going to the pits as well. I'm not sure how his tires are going at the moment. Oh, he took the inside really hard on that one. I don't think that's going to be enough for them to get DRS, but it will be enough for Critical Noob right behind them.
Oh, and Hajek does come into the pits. That's another of the medium runners.
Slides. Oh, East Slider slides hard. He's
living up to his name.
He's going the wrong way, and it seems as though the Aston Martins might be able to take advantage of that once he finally has to pit. Man, East Sliders might have actually had to pit there. Maybe his tires are starting to get worn.
And out come Hajek on another set of mediums? What is the strategy at Audi?
Oh, to be fair, I mean, there could be a way where you're doing like two stop medium tires on all.
If they're gonna go mediums, medium softs, because if they've just boxed on lap 13 for medium tires, this is gonna if they've taken 13 laps to wear them out so far, it's only another 13 laps before they're gonna have to pit again, which is lap 26, which is 10 laps short of the final race distance. So what's happening at Audi? They must have some mind-boggling strategy that they're gonna try here.
They must be trying something interesting, I will be honest. I mean, this is going to be a completely dry race for the whole thing, so there's nothing they're trying to do with intermediates. However, maybe they're able to hold the tires a little longer than other people. I don't know. That's only Audi knows. And speaking of that, Audi is going to be pitting at the moment. I believe that's going to be Dancer Hajek.
No, that's 420 Merc Music. Hajek's already pitted.
Yes.
Fernand setting a purple Sector 1 on their fresh new tyres, so
And
definitely an advantage.
East Sliders is going to be pitting as well. East Sliders is now pitting.
That leaves the lead for Critical Noob, who's been at the front of many sessions so far this weekend. Just wasn't at the lead of qualifying. Everyone's coming into the pits now. All these medium and soft tyre...
The Red Stars is still out there.
Most of people coming into the pits. All these medium and soft tyre runners coming in. My question to them is, if they're coming in on lap 14 on mediums, why didn't they just start on softs? Because softs are estimated to last like roughly the same amount of time, and they're faster tyres.
I'm not sure. Maybe they know something we don't.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm no team expert or tyre expert. I just made a spreadsheet, so we'll have to wait and see.
Critical Noobs now going across the S's of the third sector beginning. So
16 seconds is the gap.
Man, East lost a lot of points, lost a lot of positions with that pit stop. Is he still on mediums?
East has gone to hard, so East is probably going for the one stop. If they've switched to hards at this point in the race, it's a one stop, definitely.
Well, that's interesting, because his teammate's on hards at the moment as well, which is probably why he hasn't done a pit stop.
Yeah, so Red Star going for an inverted strategy, maybe? We'll just have to wait and see how that turns out.
I mean, they have more confidence in East Sliders than they do in their other driver.
Oh, no, Space Ghost into the pits with hards on lap 15. What is happening with these strategies today?
Like I said, this race was going to be crazy. I just wasn't expecting it to be this kind of crazy.
Yeah, we're expecting hard runners to come in as a minimum 3 laps time, and they're already coming in Space Ghost's instance, so...
Oh, man, that was fast through that chicane, my man. Go and get that BMW. Come on. Sorry.
Matt
anyway.
chasing Fen and Jasta. Well, a green Sector 2 and a green Sector 3 for the Brown Star is looking good, currently P10 on track for points.
It's about damn time. Anyways, let's talk about some of these other drivers. I'm seeing one of the fleets still in the race. However, it seems as though the other fleet actually retired, I'm guessing, based on the fact that he left in 22nd position. I believe that was the one that started in the pit lane. Let me check real quick. Who's this? That looks to be Danza Hadjet starting his 3rd sector at the moment. Right behind him is going to be one of the Aston Martins. I believe that will be Fernand.
Yes, that is Fernand indeed.
Going across DRS Zone 2. Let's make sure this chicane area is clear. Yep, it's only, I believe, Merc Music. Oh, they took that beautifully. And right behind them is going to be the Crake as well. Interestingly enough, Aviation Chat's doing pretty well for Crake at the moment.
Yeah, jumped from Brown Star, jumped to McLaren, jumped to Craig. Are they trying to set a record for the most amount of teams driven for in a season?
I mean, the only thing that's limiting them is what division you go to. They never said anything about which team you went to.
So we'll just have to see what team they decide to go to next.
I mean, it seems as though he's having a lot more luck in this team than the other two.
But I don't believe that any Craig has pit F1 fans out. So I don't believe they haven't pitted yet. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
What tires is he on?
He's on hards.
Well, that explains it.
Yeah, expecting them hard runners to box in the next 2 laps.
Trying to go for a 1-stop, do you?
I think they are. If you want to do a 1-stop, I think you have to be pitting around 22 laps, and then going on to the mediums, or if you're very good at saving your tyre life, going on to softs. I wouldn't expect anyone to go on to softs. That would be way too risky. But if they wanted to try and get this Craig car up there, they could attempt to go for it. But again, like I said, I'm no expert and I'm not the strategist at Craig Racing, so they're going to do whatever they decide to do.
BMW.
Oh, what was that? That was East Sliders just clipping the wall there. That was very, very risky from the Red Star.
He's going to have to hold that a little better than that. That's Red Star just kind of bumped on that speed bump. He's going to get on 2 wheels on that chicane. I don't know. Every time I see the Red Star go across that chicane, I just get flashbacks.
Just trying to see. There you go. You can see the Red Star gets squirmy out of the last corner and just nabs the barrier there.
Hey, power unit's going into the pits, but it's not for why we think. It's because he has lost his front wing, which means he's going to lose considerable time.
How is power unit lost his front wing? I mean, if they're on medium tyres...
If we look on the track, we'll be able to find where he lost it.
Yeah, power unit has managed to hold his medium tyres all the way past lap 15, which was our barrier, which we predicted. So 2 extra laps on mediums. That's very good tyre conserving from the KR Racing driver. Moving on to hards now. I think power unit wants that to be their final pit stop of the race. They may be trying to do a 1-stop here.
I don't see his front wing. I don't know where he lost it. I'm going to be honest.
May have just fell off. I don't know.
I don't see how that's possible, but... I mean, he lost it somewhere. I'm not sure if he lost it through the beginning of the lap or the end of the lap, but if it was at the beginning of the lap, that's just going to mean he's going to lose a lot of time because he's had to deal with it for the rest of that lap.
Oh, I think I see it. I think that's his front wing off the exit of turn 5.
Turn 5?
Yeah, turn 5. Go have a look at turn 5. See if that is his front wing, or that could be someone else's front wing.
You are right.
Look at me. I've got good eyes. I've got good eyes.
Deepod the Eagle Eye. So that means that he lost his wing before the beginning of Sector 2, which is bad. Honestly, it's really bad for him.
Yeah, he's had to have massive understeer all the way, even through the S's. Like, if you don't have a front wing through the S's, you're basically screwed because you have to brake for every corner. If you have a front wing, you can take these at full throttle because of the crazy downforce these cars have.
So confused. Everybody's so spread out today. And since I'm in Helicam, I can't really see the positions, but it seems as though Critical Noob's still in the lead.
Well, not for much longer, coming into the pits.
Hang on a second. What happened to Professor?
I'm not sure.
Him and Douglas of Fleet are gone, and I do not know why.
That was a big DNF we missed. Maybe that was just a disconnect.
I think he might have died. I think he might have crashed or something because, I mean, he's in here. He's not disconnected, but I don't know where he is.
You see, the problem is
the Fleet died as well.
His little green box next to his name isn't there. It's grey, so I didn't really pay attention to Professor Bloxer. Sorry, Professor Bloxer.
I'm not sure what happened. We'll have to find out what happened after the race, or to figure out what happened. Oh, okay, so it seems as though he did actually crash.
Okay. So only one Aston Martin remaining now. A lot of teams having DNFs, which, as we saw last season, not a big surprise.
Oh my goodness! Think about it. Patrick Carrillo's not racing. Kakira disconnected. Professor crashed. The podium from last season is gone. They can't replace this race.
Yeah, it's all new. We don't know what's going to happen. This is like for the first time in a long time. We don't know what's going to happen.
This is new blood. This race is for the new blood. That's all I can say, unless Dan Zahajek or East Sliders takes it. But other than that, it'd probably be for the new blood.
Yeah, it's 420 Merc Music is doing a stellar performance right now with the fastest lap in P1, 5.6 seconds ahead of their teammate. This is going to be a massive points haul for Audi if they hold the race like this.
We just got to make sure that these drivers can actually.
Critical Noob's lost it, and Power Unit's gone into them as well.
That's a double crash. Power Unit and Critical Noob are out. That's the yellow flag.
I'm trying to get a shot of it. I can't. Everyone's reset. Oh, people are trying to avoid the Critical Noob still in the car. Critical Noob needs to get out of the car. There we go.
And they also need to reset the car as well.
Here you can see it just on the right there.
Not doing that. I don't know why they're not doing it. I'm gonna go take care of that. So that's it. Critical Noob's gone. There's nothing to be done about that anymore.
That's another winner in contention out of the race.
Wait, do you realize what this means? This means KRR is getting no resource points and no points this race.
Not a race to remember for them then. Definitely not a race to remember.
But not only that, it means that Critical Noob is out, and that means that all of McLaren's hopes now fall on Lance Stroll, their new driver. I guess we're going to have to watch the chicane a little better.
Yeah.
Actually, we're also going to have to check out those S-curves as well, because we don't know if Fittenjester's going to do another dummy.
Yeah, we don't know. Fittenjester scuppered qualifying for pretty much everyone, especially in the top 6. Power Unit was on a very fast lap. And boof, right into the BMW, which decided to crash and leave the car right in the middle of the track.
Yeah, I'm noticing Static's right behind them. I think he actually... Nope, he's still in the race, but he'll be able to get ahead of Critical in a second. There we go. Which means we now only have 13 drivers left in this race.
Yeah, that's... What was last season's race? I think it was like 11 or 10 drivers left. So, we might be on for another record. Least amount of finishes.
We might be on for another one, too. Least amount of finishes, as we still have a whole third left of this race, and a bit of a freeze for me.
Oh, okay. We're back, though. Good. Hand on heart, we're still going.
We are thankfully still going.
I got very
so that means then. So that means Audis are in first and second at the moment with Aston Martin right behind them.
Danza Hajek doesn't have a timing sign time. Oh, it's just updated. So that was a little bit of a glitch for Danza Hajek there. I was wondering what happened. But they're still in the race. They're still fine. So Audi fans, don't fret. Both of your drivers are still doing fine. Well, better than fine. They're P1 and P2.
Might be some update with the timing sheet, so when they feel a freeze coming, something happens with the timing sheet so they can get back in order. Oh, BMW slipping! on that chicane. Grandster's going to take advantage of that one. And here comes some more. Oh, that's going to be Landstroid. Landstroid slips! And the Red Star is able to get right in front of him. This chicane has made or broken races, and I say that, and there goes Indominus sliding, doing a full 360.
The thing is, if you, if you hit the wall off the chicane, don't lose any wheels, but you do lose your front wing, you've got to do an entire lap before you can get back to the pits, which, if anyone ends up in that situation, their race is pretty much done.
Either that, or you try to go around and try to go behind the pits. But I don't know if that's even allowed.
I don't think the stewards would be very happy if anyone tries to drive around the pits.
Hey, the collisions only start when they're crashed. Come on.
Oh, well, for realism's sake, don't drive backwards on track, kids.
It's going to be a really, really bad day for you.
Yeah.
So, hang on a second. Look at that. The Red Stars are both in points at the moment.
This is one of the best races Red Star has had for a very, very long time. I'd say since Season 1 or Season 2.
Looks like they finally got their act together.
Well, they've finally got good drivers with East Sliders, podium sitter from last race, and Space Ghost, who's done very well in Formula 1 and other series in the past, particularly GT3.
I realize I haven't seen a pit stop in a while.
Yeah, so some people may just be pushing hard tyres for a very long time, like Aviation Chad. Now P9 has boxed for Craig.
And it's hard to tell where everybody is at the moment. I mean, I can't find the Audis for the life of me. Oh, wait, nope. I think I see one now going across the chicane, starting the next lap. Is that Dance a Hatchback or is that 420? That is 420. Yes, we are starting lap 23 at the moment. And here comes the other Aston Martin, and right behind him is going to be Fernand.
Fernand doing absolute wonders for AMR at the moment. P3, solid podium contender right now. He's just one of the most... In Ion, you really need consistency, because you get these drivers which are like fast at one race, get pole, and then just are never seen again. But Fernand, highly consistent. He's finished 7 of 9 contested races in Season 3, and crashed only once when running for podium places. So let's hope, cross our fingers, that doesn't happen again for Fernand, and also got his first podium in Korea. So Fernand is definitely...
we've had another crash! Another crash right at the beginning of the chicane. That's going to be static in BMW. That car is out.
Okay.
I didn't even notice it. That was on the bottom of my screen.
That's now just 12 cars remaining, with Alex 19767 in 12th.
Well, hopefully if he stays in there, he might be able to get 10th and get some points for the team. But seeing as he's still out there, he will still be able to get some resource points. As for that, it's... if anybody else crashes out, that's going to be crucial for them. That's going to be hard. And hang on a second, Aston Martin is pitting. That's going to be Fernand.
Fernand coming into the pits.
Let's see what kind of tires he goes for.
Currently on mediums.
Able to get ahead of him at the moment.
What's that going to look like when they switch? Another set of mediums.
Oh, one of the Brandstars just dragged across the wall on that chicane. It looks like his car's still intact, front wing still there. BMW is going to be pitting as well.
That would be Fernand Jaster, the number 36 car.
Oh, hang on a second. Is that a... oh, that car was a bit frozen on the S-curves. I was a little worried he had a big crash there. It seemed to have been an Aston Martin driver.
Here comes Indominus Rex around turn 1, now getting an extra position on Fernand Jaster, up to P9 now for the E-Spirit.
And here comes 420, starting the next lap. Behind him is going to be Dance a Hatchback.
Dance a Hatchback comes into the pits.
Oh, he is pitting, yes. So does that mean he's doing a 2-stop?
It looks like it will be.
You think he's going to finally go into the softs? Eastlighter's staying out there.
He must go on to the... If he goes for a two-stop strategy with 3 medium tyres, he does! It's a full medium race for this Audi.
What is going on? What are they thinking?
A two-stop strategy, every single time, going to mediums.
And here comes Fernand and the Brendstar. So Matt's in 4th at the moment, but Fernand's up ahead. He's going to be able to catch up with him. And Alex, you could see, is getting a lap by both of them.
Fernand, interestingly, set a purple Sector 2 in the Aston Martin, as Space Ghost pits as well for Red Star.
Red Star doing a pit. Lance Droid also doing a pit. The Audis are doing really well this race. However, Dancing Hedgehog still has to get that lead from East. I'm not sure if East is going to be pitting sometime soon. It's still yet to be seen. Where are they? Is that East? I can't tell.
East is up to second.
Yes, that is East. East is over in the chicane at the moment.
Going to take it smoothly? Yes, they do.
He's not
crossing
pitting
the
yet.
line.
He's not pitting yet. That's interesting. And he's 22 seconds behind 420 Merc Music, as Dancing Hedgehog is only 12 seconds behind him.
Well,
And looks like we're going to have another pit. That's going to be Matt, looks like. Matt for Brandstar is going to be pitting.
people
which
who
means
have
Aviation Chad might be able to get ahead of him.
people who have just pitted or pitted within the last couple of laps, like Fellenjaster, setting 2 green sectors. Dice Herjek on their outlap, green sector 2. So pitting for new tyres is definitely what you want to do if the gap to the people behind isn't too significant. Because Dice Herjek, to get back up to second, is now going to have to climb.
Speaking of Fellenjaster, he just slipped on the chicane. He's going to lose some point. He's going to lose some time.
And that would have also just absolutely scrubbed the hell out of them fresh medium tyres they just put on the BMW. So that's not going to be good for tyre life.
Audi is pitting. I think that might be Merc.
That will be Merc
Yes, it
indeed.
is. What else we got here?
Soft tyres for the Audi. Finally, someone's running softs.
Well, finally, and speaking of that, Eastlighters is now going to be pitting himself.
Oh, a
wonder
little
what
bit of a
his strategy's
slowdown
gonna
in the
be.
pit lane there for 420 Merc Music.
Yeah, he doing a bit of a slide there because his pit stop is so far up. He's going in the McLaren pits? I'm not sure if that's allowed, but we'll see.
Must just be a little bit confused. But at least they're managing to change tyres on the hards to the mediums.
He's only got about 8 laps left. Does he really want to be mediums?
This is interesting. 420 Merc Music comes in on lap 28, pits for softs. Directly after the Audi, Eastlighters comes in, pits for mediums. I'm baffled by the fact people are choosing the mediums over the softs when they're predicted to have extremely similar tyre lives, but slower performance.
I don't know. Maybe East was confused and wanted to start going for their strategy, and yet they switched it up on them at the moment they do.
It'll... Oh, I don't know. They're going to finish somewhere. We'll let them do what they want to do. Wouldn't be surprised if 420 Merc Music takes the fastest lap off of Fernand with soft tyres, because at the moment 420 Merc has the tyre advantage.
I haven't seen a single crash in a few laps, and kind of interesting. It seems as though people have started to get their bearings. Only 12 people are still on the track, but it seems everybody's still able to hold their tires and everything else pretty well. Mainly, most of the crashes have seemed to have happened on the chicane. But as we get into the final laps, we might start seeing people being a little more risky and thus having a little more problems with their cars.
Aviation Chad still hasn't pitted, still on hard tyres. Craig is on
he's
for
also
good points
in
here.
5th at the moment.
Yeah,
It's good. He's on good points, but he still has to pit, and he has about 8 laps left.
well, he's made these hard tyres last for however long now. Do you think that these could go to the end? If they really have good tyre life, if they have good... what's it called?
Uprise crash. Johnson,
That
420, on the
okay.
outside of that chicane too, so he needs to get that car spawned immediately, or
Because
else
here
there's going to be
comes
some
420
problems.
Merc Music. Gonna be approaching this car very
Merc
shortly.
Music's coming. He better be able
Merc,
to,
you need to know,
he better
you
be
need
able
to
touch
know!
the car.
Oh! Goes between the
that
car
was a
and the
good
wall!
dodge. Oh,
What
but
does
about the
Danza
others? Will they
do?
know?
Goes round to the left. Right, at least one Audi
They're
has
good,
brains.
They're good.
Oh my days.
Who else? Oh, E-Sliders as well.
E-Sliders is now going to be coming in the red star.
Christ,
What?
he's taking that car off the damn track.
It's gone.
And they
Green
did,
flags
they did.
everyone. 420 Merc Music went between the car and the wall. Why would you not dive to the left?
He's feeling a little risky today, I guess. But that
This
means
is down
that
to Hajek
Uprise's
going to
team
the
is
left of
out.
the car. Oh. Well, at least that allowed 420 Merc Music to get a purple sector 1.
That is true. 420 Merc Music's going to be getting some good time off of that little maneuver of his. It seems he didn't even have to fix his lineup at all.
That
knew
could
what
have
he was
ended
doing.
very badly for Audi. Oh, and he's sliding on the curb there, going quite wide here through turn 14, but now into the DRS zone.
I'm so surprised that Danza Hadjic and 420 Merc Music aren't first and second right now. Audi must be on the edge of their seats at the moment.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm not even part of the Audi team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the end of this race turns out. With just 5 laps to go now, it's a 1-2 for Audi, with Fernand on track for another podium.
Man, I'm breaking a cold sweat already.
Oh,
Oh,
420
and
Merc
here
Music
comes
bumping a
Aviation.
little bit.
Aviation and Matt going across the chicane at the moment.
Oh, it's
Who's gonna
very
be up
close
on
between
top?
these two. Matt
It
will
seems
have
Matt might be able to catch up.
Matt
Just
has
barely,
the slipstream
maybe.
and the tyre advantage. Matt's on soft. Aviation Chad is on very, very, very worn hards, I'd expect, at this rate. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this ends up for both of these drivers. But through turn 2, Matt has got ahead of the Crake.
You know what's crazy? Alex at the moment is about 123 seconds behind the lead and maybe 60 behind the person in front of him. If there's another crash, he'll be in the points.
He'll be in the points and has already been lapped by the front runners.
Amazing. See, that's what happens. If you start actually holding the car and keeping it out on the track, you're going to get points.
Yeah,
A
like
lot
you were
better
saying
than
at the
somebody
start
who's
of
gonna be
this
risky.
race, you really need to be consistent around here because, like, it's so tight and it's so technical, people will just drop like flies.
It seems as though Matt was actually able to make the pass on Aviation Chad. He's now going to be in 5th, starting the 3rd sector.
Fernand Jaster running 7th for BMW, the only remaining BMW in this race, the number 36 card,
Alex,
doing good in the
Alex had a
midfield.
bit of a spin. Alex had a bit of a spin going down the S curves. He was able to hold it though.
Oh,
420 Merc
Fernand
Music again.
Jaster
Hadjic kind
just
of running
bumping.
away with it. But hang on a second. Fernand's only 2 seconds behind. Less than a second behind now. About a second behind now. Which means he might be able to make a pass in a minute.
Yeah, Fernand
As we
does
now
have a
only have
history
5
of
laps.
crashing when running in the podium places. But if Fernand can keep it together at the Greek Grand Prix, he could be on track for a P2 finish. I can't remember when Fernand boxed compared to when Danza Hajek boxed, but they're both on medium tyres, so it just depends between these two people. Whoever has the fresher tyres, they're going to have the pace advantage, and Fernand also has a slipstream and a DRS advantage.
He's doing his teammate proud at the moment. He's fighting for it. He wants that 2nd place, but he will still be able to get a podium as long as E-Sliders doesn't make a pass on him.
Going back to the leader, the number 17 car of 420 Merc Music, the Audi, is going to be on track for their first win in F1, I believe.
This would be Audi's first win, you're right, because if I remember correctly, the only ones who won a race were Brandstar, Ferrari, McLaren, and E-Spirit. However, I'm not sure those E-Spirit wins count since they were with Capitan Bo, as we know, he was cheating for those.
We'll just have to wait and see. 420 Merc Music previously has been successful in GT3. Drove for the first time in F1 in Canada for BMW last season. And has then been pretty much promoted up to Audi. More of a front-running team. And is now doing wonders.
And Lance Stroll's going to be pitting as well on the 4th to last lap. Wonder what their strategy is.
It's a big gamble for McLaren. If anything goes wrong here, Alex may have a chance, but again,
Actually,
it's a minute gap.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Pit stops are about 30 seconds, and he is a good 60 seconds behind. So I think they're just letting him pit so they can keep him out there.
I can pit like twice then. Might as well come in again on the last lap. I don't know.
I don't think you want to be that risky.
We'll just have to wait and see. Because if anything happens to anyone in the top 10, Alex is getting a points finish, 130 seconds behind the leader.
Which would explain why McLaren's doing that, because they're not taking any chances.
Yeah.
They've realized that there's no way to catch up to Indominus. And there's no way that Alex is going to be able to catch up with him on a pit stop. So as long as you do the pit stop, get the new tires, keep him out there for the last few laps, he'll be fine.
This is Indominus Rex, car number 25, holds the fastest lap for E-Spirit, so that's going to be an extra point going to that team if that fastest lap isn't taken.
Was that a slip-up? I think Aviation just spun a bit. Which means Space is going to be right behind him.
It seems to be running okay now, though. But the Red Star the Red Star's getting very close. I think I was right. Craig are trying to take this car to the end on these hards.
I think he had a bit of a spin off of that first turn, but he was able to hold the car, no crash. So he'll be able to stay, but he's going to lose a lot of time, and that Red Star might be able to take advantage of it.
Oh, it's very close now into the triple apex of turns 6, 7, and 8.
Lap. We're on the second to last lap now. It all comes down to this.
420 Merc Music on track for their first career F1 win. Audi on track for their first career F1 win. Oh, and 420's just sliding slightly out of turn 5, but keeps it on track and keeps it straight.
Space with Red Star was actually able to make the pass on Aviation Chad. Aviation Chad is now going to be in 7th.
But the Aviation Chad will have the aerodynamic advantage with the slipstream and just had the DRS, but definitely doesn't have a tyre advantage. He's been on them hards for how long?
True.
I can't even remember how long those hards have been on that car.
He might have another slip up on that first turn.
Oh, we'll just have to wait and see. And no, holds it into turn 2. But this turn 2, turn 3 little complex here, if you have good tyres, just losing it slightly there. I was about to say, if you have good tyres, you can take it quite quickly. But if you don't, you can slide out.
And here comes Merc Music. He's about to start the final lap of this race.
Let's go on board then.
And right behind him is going to be Danza Hadjic, and right behind him is going to be Fernand. And then we're going to have Lance Droid, who's in 10th at the moment. He's doing pretty good on his sectors. And
green sector 1, purple sector 2 in P10 takes the fastest lap away from Indominus. Currently 2 points going to Lance Droid and McLaren.
Man, that's going to be interesting.
Fernand was improving, but isn't improving anymore. Set a full set of yellow sectors. Now on a yellow sector 1 again. 11 seconds now. It's fallen by a second. 4 seconds to Danza Hadjic in front. I don't think there's much Fernand can now do, except for Prey from a DNF from the front to try and get up into second. But still, on the podium for Aston Martin, a good position.
I don't see another DNF happening at this rate. This is the last lap. Somebody has to have a really unlucky day for that to happen.
I hope that isn't the commentator's curse, because now coming through the chicane is 420 Merc Music. Hasn't put a foot wrong today, crosses the line and wins in Greece.
That's the finish for him. That's a win. And right behind him is going to be Danza Hadjic going across the line for their second place. And behind him will be Fernand.
Keep it together. It's a P3 for Aston Martin again. That's the
Behind
podium,
him will
ladies
be
and gents.
Sliders getting P4 for Red Star. One of the best positions for Red Star, I might add.
Matt now rounding turn 13, coming through the final DRS zone very shortly. Let's hope that the Brown Star can hold it together and get the first points finish for the team this season. Compared to last season, maybe not doing as well as you'd want, Shea, but at least it is going to be a points finish. Let's hope that Matt holds it in the chicane. Come on. Yes, he does. Coming towards the line now. Dino's on track, and Matt gets Brown Star's first points of the season. Lance Droid's already crossed the line and secures P10 and a fastest lap for McLaren.
Another Red Star in the points as well. Space is going to get your P6.
That's probably the first double Red Star in the points we've had for a very, very long time. So it's good to see Red Star on a resurgence.
There it is. There it is. The Crake going to get some points as well in P7. Finn and Jaster in P8. Indominus in P9. Lance Droid will take P10.
And Alex in P11.
But that'll still be resource points for Brand Star.
That's
and
the
those
final
are the only ones
roundup.
that will be able to finish this race. Hang on a second. Lance Droid still has to finish this race, I think.
No, Lance Droid has crossed the line.
Oh, no, he finished. I didn't know if he was able to cross the line before in time, but it seems as though he was able to. So that means that is the end of the race. I don't think anybody could have saw this happening today.
No,
Nobody
Greece
could have
always
saw this position.
Greece always brings hectic races, and once again, it's brought a hectic race. So that was so exciting to see. So you can see Fernand there now bringing their car into the P3 position in Parc Ferme. Here comes 420 Mac Music doing donuts in the pit lane. Not sure how legal that is, but they're going to want to come in pretty shortly. There they are.
It's his first win, so it's understandable.
Yeah, just celebrating for Audi. It's an Audi 1-2, which we haven't seen. I'm not sure the last time we saw that, if we've ever seen that before. Very dominant from the German team. Very dominant from 420 Mac Music. Qualified on pole and won the race.
I still got to get Dance Hadjic out there too.
Here he comes. The number 72 car now in P2 position in Parc Ferme. You can see all the podium finishers there. Then are going to make their way up to the podium next to the media building.
That's some pretty good points now. It's going to be interesting how these standings are going to change.
Yeah, it's
Audi getting a 1-2 and KR getting no points this race. Man,
yeah,
Audi's just flying this season.
Yeah, Audi's going to get a massive gain on KR Racing.
And now we're going to have the actual podium in a second.
Here comes the music, which means the drivers should be out very shortly. Here comes Fernand in P3 for Aston Martin. Another podium for the British outfit. Another podium for Fernand. Here comes Danza Hajek in P2. The first of the 1-2 that Audi scored. And here is the winner of 420 Merc Music. So a big congratulations to Audi, a big congratulations to 420 Merc Music. They both got their first wins in F1 today. Big congratulations to Danza Hajek, did an absolutely fine job of being the second wingman there at Audi, just coming up second and scoring, well, not the maximum amount of points they could. They didn't get the fastest lap, but without the fastest lap, 25 points for 420 Merc Music, 18 points for Danza Hajek. That's going to give them a massive advantage, not only in the drivers, but also in the constructors' standings, as well as Fernand, aiding Aston Martin a little bit after Professor Bloxer sadly did DNF, which we didn't catch on stream. But for the time being, that was yet another exciting Greek Grand Prix. Coming up next is going to be Iron Formula 2 in France, so we'll cross to them very shortly. But for now, from me and from Shea, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Do we want to do any interviews first?
Do we have interviews? I don't know. Nobody said anything.
I think we do. Interview waiting for Fernand and Dominus Rex, Matt, and Professor Bloxer. Do we want to try for Fernand first since he got P3?
Yeah, let's bring in Fernand. I'm very sorry. I didn't even notice we had interviews, so let's bring in some interviews. Hello, Fernand.
Evening. Hello, Fernand.
Hello.
How are you feeling after that P3?
Oh my god, I'm feeling great. I'm actually sweating a lot because of how hot my room is. And the intensity too.
So how does it feel to do basically what Professor Bloxer's done this whole time and actually being able to get a podium for your team for the first time?
Well, this is actually the second time, but it feels great. I can take over for Prof, if that makes sense. Let's say, and if it's vice versa too. If one of us DNFs, the other one can get the points, either a podium or maybe higher than P5.
Well, sounds good. Anything you want to leave us with for this race?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Well, we'll get Professor Bloxer in here in a second to see what happened there. Thank you for joining us today. Good luck on your next one, which will be in France.
Yeah. Thanks. See ya.
All right. I think we'll start with Professor Bloxer next, since I kind of want to know what in the world happened.
Yeah, let's bring in Professor Bloxer. Hello, Professor Bloxer. What on earth happened? We didn't even see how you left the race.
Crash on the sector 2 on the uphill part.
In the S's?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I hit a bump or something on the top, and then I heard the wheel spin, but by the time I crested the hill and I got traction, I just had no grip, and I just went straight. So, kind of disappointed.
It was very surprising to see you DNF. We didn't see it on the cameras. For Shea only noticed it on the timing screen. So it's definitely a big surprise for us to see you DNF, because you are certainly one of the most consistent drivers in the field. So is there anything that you've learned from that instance, and you're gonna try and take to France in a couple of weeks' time?
I just gotta keep my head down, and I think I was getting too distracted, or I don't know. I just need to build more and get into more of a rhythm.
Okay, well, Shea, anything you want to add?
I mean, are there any things you're going to be keeping in mind for France? Because France is going to be a lot more difficult track than it was for Greece, because it's a street circuit. So are there any things you learned from this race that you're going to put in mind for next one?
Well, the first thing, I think we had no engineers again, so that was great. I had to drive with the leaderboard open, which I'm not really used to. It takes up quite a bit of space. I think last season I did well at France. I didn't hit the wall or anything, so just expect something similar, hopefully.
All right. Well, hopefully you have a little better luck on the next race. We'll be sure to see you there. Other than that, thank you for joining us.
All right, AMR engineers, if you're watching this, show up. Thank you.
Okay.
And next up, I believe we're going to have Matt, who placed P5.
Yeah, let's bring in Matt, the first points finish for Brandstar. Hello, Matt. How does that feel? The first finish in the points, the first top 10 finish for Brandstar this season.
Feels good. We've been struggling the first few races, so to get some points today, it's nice. 2 R&D points as well, so good for the team.
Is it surprising to you at all that you actually placed in a similar position to your old team, Red Star?
Well, yeah. Apparently I can only get P5, but hopefully later on in the season we can get a few podiums and maybe a win as well.
Hopefully. We'll have to see what happens. Other than that, are you excited for France? Are you going to be able to keep those same strategies and such for the France race on the street circuit?
Yeah, I am. France, I would say, is probably my strongest circuit, so I hope to get a podium there.
Oh, we'll hope to see you out there. Deepa, do you have any more questions?
I don't have any more questions. I think it's best that we get the broadcast wrapped up pretty quickly because F2 has actually just started. So we'll be crossing over to Despicable
Alright,
Devil
well.
and Project User very shortly. Thank you, Matt, for that interview, and good luck for France.
Thank you.
We actually do still have Indominus Rex on the board. Do we want to put him in, or do we want to start
I
transferring?
think we're very short for time. F2 has already started, so we don't have time. I'm sorry, Indominus. We'll talk to you next race. If you do want to see France a bit early, Formula 2 are currently qualifying there, so head over to the Formula 2 stream. From me, from Shay, thank you very much for watching. Before we leave, I just remembered, let's give a thank to all our members. We've got the engineer rank, the reserve driver rank, the driver rank, and the world champion rank for you to choose from if you wish to support us financially. Of course, you don't have to. If you just want to share Ion Racing, the work we do with your friends, with your family, that's totally cool as well. As you can support the channel and the league in many, many ways. So from me, from Shay, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in a couple weeks' time for France. Goodbye.
Bye.